Oh, a microphony.
And a phony at the mic.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
The Doctor of Discernment is now online.
You know, much like my show, in that it's a local reaction to things that are happening on a federal level.
Dispensing a daily dose of common sense. No prescription required.
Wow, do I have a boatload of stuff for you, from the crazy to the absurd. Let's start getting into it because, I mean, it is bizarro world out there. And I say, if it's obvious to me, should be obvious to everyone. Oh, wow. Who could have seen this coming?
This is the Fourth Hour with Greg Belfrage.
Hold on to your butts.
Broadcasting from my basement bunker beneath Kettle Radio. Welcome to the Fourth Hour. It's great to have you along. Boy, let's go to Chris Cuomo. Chris Cuomo talking about the Democrats and what they're saying about the, even Chris Cuomo of News Nation is calling out the Democrats for lying. You know, it's bad when Chris Cuomo is doing it. I want to share this clip of Cuomo on News Nation, and in particular, he's talking about Hakeem Jeffries, and it's a little bit crazy. This is a couple of minutes long, but it's worth it, I think. Take a listen.
Here from the Democrats is not true.
The Republican partisan spending bill that they introduced is not clean.
Well, first of all,
It
let's
is
be clear.
clean.
It's not a clean bill. It's a dirty bill. Well, that's all a lie. It's not a clean continuing resolution.
The guy's a liar.
Listen, I like Hakeem Jeffries. I think he's got an amazing future. He's got better fights than this. This is a clean CR. What does that mean, by the way? Continuing resolution. Instead of passing a real budget like they should, this just says, hey, remember the last one? Let's just continue at those levels again.
Exactly.
All right? Now, that may mean that certain people who should get less won't, certain people who need more won't, but a clean CR means that this is an extension from the last set of, in this case, Biden's
Chris Cuomo
spending
gets
levels.
it.
Okay? That's what a clean CR is. This is a clean CR. Wait a minute. Cuomo disagrees with Jeffries. Jeffries must be right. Don't take my word. Take the word from the Nonpartisan Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget. They say this is about as clean a CR as you could get.
Yeah.
Okay? Again, it's a continuation of a March stopgap measure.
They didn't want to
All right?
rock the boat.
Essentially,
Exactly
continuation
right.
of spending levels from Biden, absent about.
I'm going to stop it there because Chris Cuomo gets it. I mean, wow. Hakeem Jeffries is just out there, and it is blatantly lying. I mean, that is just blatantly not true. It is a clean CR. So he's out there and he's on all the national shows and saying, no, these Democrats are just absolutely lost. Absolutely lost. What their end game is, I have no idea, but it's just incredible. They just keep going down, down, down. All right. Let's, this is another piece from Town Hall. Schumer shutdown. Democrats block pay. Yeah, they had opportunity to vote on paying the troops. And this is a piece by Amy Curtis. And I shared this comment with you from Catherine Clark, saying Democrats plan to use the suffering of Americans thanks to the Schumer shutdown. They want leverage against Republicans, and that's what they're doing. So the Senate failed to advance Senator Ron Johnson's bill that would have provided pay to some federal workers during the shutdown, would have paid members of the military. Democrats oppose that. Yeah, it was the Shutdown Fairness Act. I talked about this on the radio show this morning. Needed 60 votes. You had 3 Democrats who voted for it. Senator John Fetterman, Senator John Ossoff, and Senator Raphael Warnock voted with the Republicans to advance the bill. It would not have ended the shutdown, but it would have allowed some federal employees to get paid. Why do federal employees think the Democrats are fighting for them? I mean, It makes absolutely no sense. Absolutely no sense whatsoever. Why are they not demanding that the Democrats vote in favor of this? If they want to go back to work and they want to be paid, why are they not demanding it? I can't explain it. Maybe you've got some ideas, but it is just absolutely crazy. Trying to see, there were some other pieces. So President Trump. Oh, this is what's amazing. That's why I wanted to share this story. So Democrats will not vote to pay members of the military. President Trump revealing an anonymous billionaire who's paying the troops. So Congress won't do it. Democrats in Congress won't do it. But you get donors that will pay the military. And here's the president talking about it.
And a friend of mine, talking about donors, a friend of mine, a man that's great. I'm not going to use his name unless he lets me do it. Susie can tell you about this, but he called us the other day and he said, I'd like to contribute any shortfall you have because of the Democrat shutdown. I'd like to personally contribute any shortfall you have with the military, because I love the military and I love the country, and any shortfall.
Isn't that crazy?
Shortfall, I'll contribute it. And today he sent us a check for $130 million.
Can you imagine this?
I would love to tell you he doesn't really want the recognition, if you want to know the truth, but he gave us a check for $130 million.
That is absolutely mind-blowing. So the Democrats are playing games, and you've got private donors who are sending checks to President Trump so that we can pay the country's military. That is just absolutely mind-blowing, I think. At least to me it is. I mean, this is why I'm always saying, just another day in bizarro world. Speaking of that, what in the fresh hell is going on in the NBA with sports gambling? So this New York Post got a story. Charles Barkley, Kenny Smith, bickering on the air over the this betting scandal. Excuse me, I want to get to the right. Forgive me, because I thought I had that queued up for you. I did earlier. And there's some great, in fact, I do. Here it is. This Charles Barkley talking about what's going on.
This is not Chauncey.
On Rozier, you
Take
say.
Chauncey out the equation.
All right.
And the reason I'm mad at Kenny is, man, this ain't got nothing to do with damn gambling addiction. This ain't got nothing to do with addiction. These dudes are stupid. Why are they stupid? Under no circumstances can you fix basketball games. Under no circumstances. I love to gamble. The notion, like, Rozier makes $26 million. Him betting, giving people information or taking himself out of games, how much is he gonna benefit taking himself out the game to get
right?
unders?
That's what many of us are asking.
He's making $26 million. The notion he gave, how much of these guys he gave a head up, he took himself out of games on prop bets. How much money is he gonna make?
Well, if he did that, you're proving my point.
What do you mean? That
That means
that's
that
not
it's
addiction.
an illogical thought process.
No.
If you're making $26 million to try to win 50,000, like, that's illogical. So that you're proving my point.
No,
It is
that's
an
not addiction. That's stupidity.
The same reason someone goes and uses drugs.
That is not addiction. That is stupidity, Charles Barkley says. And you know what? It's really, I find it a little bit hard to argue with what Charles Barkley is saying. That that's addiction. It strikes me as stupidity. I mean, seriously, when you look at how much some of these, the two high profile cases in particular, there are a number of different stories that are out there. New York Post, let me pull it up because this is on their page this morning. Among the people who were caught in this, Beth Sam the City, a scammer known as Pookie in the NBA poker scandal. She's among those under arrest. So some of these people are folks you never heard of, because there were like 32 people arrested in this whole NBA thing yesterday. A scammer known as Pookie trashed her New York City home, according to her landlord. So, but that whole sports gambling thing is just absolutely incredible. Rich Lowry's got a piece about sports gambling, and he says the whole thing is out of control. I want to jump down into it, because he's talking about the criminal cases are adding up, he's saying, and that this NBA scandal is just the start. And he says former Toronto Raptors center has recently pled guilty in a similar scheme to manipulate his performance, hoping to get relief from his own gambling debts. 2 Cleveland Guardians pitchers are under investigation for unusual betting activity around specific pitches that they threw in Major League Baseball games. The NCAA announced last month that it had banned 3 basketball players for betting on themselves, manipulating their performances. This is crazy. And I think it is really, I believe this is just problematic with the problems that we see throughout the country right now. Just a lack of morality. I mean, a lack of morality of people, a lack of principled people. This is not anything new. Just many of us you wouldn't have even thought about it, especially imagine you're playing in the NBA or at a high level, you're coaching in the NBA. Why would you risk it? Why would you take the risk? It just makes no sense. And I think, I certainly grew up in a time, I'm not saying that there weren't people that were throwing things and so on. I think that's you've always had a few outliers. But generally speaking, you had more principled people. And the scope of this, that's what's shocking to me. It's not that people are going to fail. I think we see that people are going to succumb to temptation or whatever, whether there were threats. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what actually happened. But, people succumb for a variety of different reasons. I think what's shocking to me is the numbers now that we see with which people do this, whether we're talking about people on the left and the crazy that's out there to the point where it's beyond anything I ever imagined. I always knew that there were bad people that were out there, so on, but not at the numbers that we are seeing right now. And whether it's pushback against the administration and, now it's sports betting and people makes absolutely no sense to me. And Steve is saying, yeah, dishonest people are going to be dishonest. Now you can gamble on being dishonest, but it's just absolutely mind-blowing. Trying to see if there are some other comments I want to share with you. Steve doesn't trust Chris Cuomo, and I can't say I blame him. He is a different personality, Chris Cuomo, on is it News Nation is where he's at now. He is a different person on News Nation than he was on CNN. We do see a different person. And I wonder if this is the real Chris Cuomo. But my point was that even he understands that Hakeem Jeffries is lying. That when he's talking about this is not a clean CR, it is a clean CR, and the Democrats are just refusing to pass it. I'm going to leave it there today. I want to wish you a very great weekend. My number of YouTube subscribers very slowly going up. I think we're at 465. Let me check again. We're at 465 subscribers on YouTube. Yep. And if you're not a subscriber of mine on YouTube, please become one. We would love to have you on board. If you got like-minded friends who you think would appreciate what we're doing, please let them know. You have made it to the end of the video. You're part of my gallery of champions. Special salute to the Bunker Brigade, Steve and Denise and David, the rest of the crew who are here almost each and every day, which I really, really appreciate having all of you on board. So until Mondays, my friends, have a great weekend. I'll see you again Monday. Until then, I'm underground and gone.